a couple of examples of charts. We did this in class, and I said what I would do is I would also put it into a video so you can get a maybe chance to kind of take a look, at some of the steps we're going to we go through with some of the stuff. Okay, so what I have is I have a charting, called a charting example. So this looks familiar. This is one of the Pearson applications. All right. So what I'm going to do is I actually have two worksheets open. All right. So one is one is a data sheet that we're basically given up front, and then the other one is going to be the same worksheet completed. All right. So if you take a look, we compare our two worksheets here. All right. So we have data is in a tabular form. All right. The business background on this is we have somebody who is running a gym, and they're trying to get a better sense of they have data that's been collected around their membership activity, but they want to get a better sense of it. They can't, looking in a tabular form isn't necessarily giving them exactly the types of insights they're looking for. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the data that's in the worksheet. We're going to create a couple charts. All right, so I'll kind of go through. I'm going to go through. I think most of this. There's a couple of them. I'm not going to go through everything, but go through the big part. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got our worksheet out here. First thing we want to do is we want to create a 2D line chart and comparing spots offered and total class attendance. All right, so let's go to our chart. All right, so it's going to be spots offered and total class attendance. These are the two. The way you create a chart is you select the data. All right, so we just want the data. We don't want the yearly averages. We don't want any of the titles. We just simply want the data. All right. And what we will do, at least for this part of it, and we will do an insert. And within inserts, we have our chart. So what we have here, our second one down here, these are line charts. All right. So we're going to create a 2D line chart. And if you hover over this will tell us some different types of whatnot. So this is a stack line with markers. This is just a basic garden. So we'll just do a basic garden variety line chart. All right, and boom, there's our chart. Okay. Now, what happens is once you create a chart, charts are objects. We've talked about this in class about this idea of an object. So that the way an object gets treated is that it will, it has its own, tools we can apply against it. So if I select, if I just click outside of the chart, I have our standard ribbon. If I click into it, if I activate the chart object, as it were, what you'll see is it changes the layout of the ribbon. We get a new ribbon, which is all about chart design. Okay, so we can do some stuff with this. Anything. So one thing I want to do, so one of the things they ask us for in this exercise is we want to be able to put a linear trend line for class total attendance, and then change the color of it. All right. So where that is at is actually, let's go back to our chart. Chart is lit. If you look at add chart element, all right, so there's a whole bunch of things that we can add to the chart. So this is what we get if we just simply run this thing, by just simply taking a bunch of data and charting it. This is what we get. All right, but now we can also come in here and we can do things like grid lines and legends and some other things, data labels, chart title. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a trend line, and we'll do a linear trend line. All right, and let's see, series 1, series 2. So I think it asks us to do it for attendance. All right. Yeah, total attendance. So if we go back here, what I'm going to do is series 1 is going to be series 2. And I'll do an OK on that. Now what I see is I see this line which is associated with this data line right here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I can change the characteristics of it. It's linear. I can change the color. I'll make it a solid line. All right, I'll change the color to be green. All right, and I can also change transparency width. I can make it like 1 point. Oh. Make it 3.75. All right. And I can also, let's see, solid line. We're going to change that line. Okay. So you can change all of what we call the properties of the line. So I've added the line, the trend line into the chart, and I do it by basically adding it through this add chart element. And I can also change our data labels. All right. Where I want it to, I can put them at the bottom. Whoop. I can put grid lines on it. Do horizontal. Whoop. Hang on a second. All right, so I got grid lines on this. We can change, as I said, we can change any number of properties on here. Oh, let me go back on that. Okay, so that is, and then I can change the chart title. I can call it whatever I would like. I think what's the other one say to call it? Class offerings versus attendance. All right, so I can just come to this worksheet here and do okay, so I can, and I can, we can take this, and this is just simply text data, so I can highlight it.
Okay, here.
I can bold it. I can bold it. Anything we can do with that. All right, so it's kind of a quick example of creating a chart here. All right. I can come in here and I can change the names here to give us, a different, put the names of everything in here, kind of as we've done here. All right. All right. So what I want to do is, all right. So we've got that one. Let's do what we call the 3D pie chart. All right. So in this case, what the instructions want us to do. Create a 3D pie chart for the yearly averages for annual, monthly, and pay-per-month membership types. All right, so if we go back and look at the worksheet, we have membership types. Actually, if I click this will actually tell us what we should select. So this is going to be our annual membership. These will be the numbers. Okay, so we can come over here. We'll go to the other one. And what I'll do is I'll simply highlight these three, select these three, and then I'm going to go to the end, the yearly averages. So it's the third, fourth, and fifth ones. I'm going to do a control. I'm on a Mac, so I do a control click so I can select all three. All right, so I've selected both the labels and the data. Okay, and then I'm going to do another insert. And what we will do is we will insert a pie chart. And here's all the different type of pie charts. So we're going to do a 3D pie chart. All right, there's our pie chart. And as we can see, we have our numbers on here. Now, I think we can, on the legend, I think we can actually, you can move this stuff around. So if you go to the chart elements, there's ways we can change the data labels. All right, as you can see, I've got data labels in here. All right. Now, the other thing they ask us to do on that is, what's that title? The other thing they ask us to do on this is to take a slice of the pie and pull it out. Hang on a second. We'll do a copy. Let's see if that goes over. Sometimes you gotta, with our copy and paste, sometimes you gotta noodle around with it a bit. So do our paste. And it worked. Okay, good. All right. So I can change the font. If I click that, I can change the numbers. I can change these labels. Now, if I want to pull this out, so if I want to highlight on a 3D pie chart, what I have the option of doing, I can simply grab the slice of the pie, click it, and pull it. All right. And what it'll do is it'll actually break the pie apart. So you can put the pie back together. All right. So the way, if you only want to get a single slice of the pie, you just want to make sure you highlight just that one slice. So we're going to take the gray slice here. Oop, not that. No, not quite. I think it's right. If I pull that out, I know I can pull that slice out of the pie, so which gives us a different visual on that. Okay, so that's a pie chart. So that's basically a example of a 3D pie chart in action. Right? You can adjust the sizes and whatnot. Now the third one is a little trickier. All right, so the third one is something we're calling a combo chart. So the combo chart is I'm going to take two ranges of data, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show one as a line chart and show one as a column. All right, and they're combined together. All right, so the directions are it wants us to use the average duration in hours and then the unique customer swipe in. All right. So if I click this, let's actually just look at this, because when you have a chart, the data is tied to the chart. So the data up here is tied to the chart. If I change the data, or if I change a label, I'll give you an example. If I change the label up here, I've changed it in the chart. So the two are linked together. And we'll just back this up. Okay, so what I want to do is if I click this chart, there we go. What it should select is what's the data that makes up this chart. Right, so we've got the average duration in gym hour, and then the unique customer swipe in. So these are the labels, and this is the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's go to our other chart. So let's do that. We'll do our three. Actually, so I haven't added anything yet. So we still have, it's all still one table. So I can come here, I'm going to select all that, and then we'll go do another insert. And in this time, what I'm going to do is we're going to use our combo chart. And we pull that down. We have a couple different options. Our clustered column line. This is clustered column line on secondary access, all right, which is what the problem asks us to do. So we'll select that one. All right. So, and what we'll see is kind of something that looks, we've got, here's our line chart. All right. Here's our column chart, with two different data sets. All right. So let's see. So what I'm looking for, percentage new users. So actually what I want to do though is I don't want the percentage new users as the data. I want it to be the duration in gym of hours. So let's take a look at this. We'll do the so I can come up here and I can adjust what data I want to select. All right, so I can add new elements to the chart, but over here is where I select the data. All right, so if we click this, what we're going to get is the data source. So this is the data that goes into the table. All right, and if we take a look at our, so I've actually got a third. What's interesting, I don't have, so apparently we didn't grab the third piece. All right, so let me go back. I'll look at the, we'll look at the other. So actually I needed to grab this as well. All right, and I'm just going to insert another chart. Once you create a chart, it'll, you modify it and adjust the properties of it until you create another one. No, didn't like. I don't think I took that one. Okay, we select the range, and I will insert a new chart. And this will be a combo chart, with this line on secondary axis. Let's see if it inserts it. Or it actually, oh. It's inserting it and it's actually overlaying it. So it did it, and since we had one there. All right, so let's look at this one then. So we'll look at the data for this and see if we got it. For some reason, it's not grabbing that. All right, let's look at the original one. Okay, if we look at the original one, so this is the one with the what I have the ability to do. Well, let me cancel this because I don't want to wipe out my data. Okay, so if I click this here, and if I looked at my select data now, okay, so this is what, so I have 3 columns here, the average duration in hours, percentage new customers, and unique customer swipe in. So the ones we want are the average duration per hours, and then the unique customer swipe in. Okay, and then this is the Y value. So if I click the Y values here, that's my Y values. If I look at my category, that's what we have up top. All right. And then my unique customer tie-in is at the bottom. I don't know why when I did the copy it didn't bring that over. So as you can see, I can show in the chart by simply selecting the data. I'm selecting the data for here, selecting the data for here. Now I can feed the chart different data sources. Okay, so that's this as I said, that's this compound. So it's those are, as I said, that's a little bit more complicated as a chart. All right. So the other things I just want to demo on this, as we're looking at this, we want to. It asks us to insert a data bar. So a data bar is, and looking at this, probably this one right here. If we look at this line right here, that is a data bar. All right. Now the data bar, where do you find that at? Well, it's actually on the same. It's actually on the same place where we found our conditional formatting. If you recall conditional formatting, I click that, we will see data bars. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this line, these cells. All right, I'll do my conditional formatting, and I'll select it as data bars. Now I can use it as gradient fill or solid fill, either one. Pick my color. All right, and as you can see, we've now applied a data bar, and we could do that to any line of data that's in the worksheet. Okay, and then I think the last thing it asks us to do is to build a sparkline. All right, so the sparkline is the way I would describe it would be it's a mini visualization of a row of data or a bunch of data. All right. So what we'll do, go to our working worksheet here. So what we'll do is first thing I want to do is I'm going to create a space for it, and so I'm going to insert a new column. All right, blank column here. All right. And then what I will do is I will select all of this data through to December. I won't do it the totals, we'll just do it to December. All right, and then the Sparklines, we'll find that in our insert, kind of with the charts and all the other stuff. So we do an insert, and we come down here, we'll see Sparklines. All right, if I do a click on the Sparkline, I can do a Sparkline column or win loss. So let's do a Sparkline. And where do I want to put the Sparkline? So this is the range. Where do I want to put it? We want to put it right here. So I'm just going to kind of create this range here. Say okay, and boom. What it did is it took this line, it took, the way, what a sparkline is, it's basically it's a mini visualization, a mini graphic that gives us a visualization of the shape of the line over a period of whatever our period is. So in this case, this is the visualization. So this is associated with this line. This one's this line. If I click this, let's see if I can get this to do what I want it to do. If I click a sparkline, sparkline is a different type of object. And Excel knows what a sparkline is as an object, and what it will give is the Sparkline menu. And we can do stuff with it. We can add some color to it. We can identify the high point in the sparkline, which makes for interesting stuff. So, like for example, here for this total class attendance, we were descending over this entire year. So what we did on average, or our total attendance is actually down a bit. Some things have maintained kind of an even, kind of a high water mark. So this is the high water. The red mark is the mark. So it's just simply another type of graphic, another type of mini graphic that we can embed into a chart. Okay. So I think that is about the major pieces of this. All right, so I'm just kind of doing the kind of the major things. And something you might want to take a look at is, familiarize yourself with on the charts itself, how we can, from in the chart, the chart elements, so where we can adjust we can adjust our axes, our chart title, the legend, and also the select data. So the select data is really defines what what's the range that make up what's the data range in the worksheet that is tied to that chart. And don't forget, the chart and the data are tied together. So if I make a change to the data, it will be reflected in the chart dynamically. So, okay, so that's it.